Dr. Samin Sharma. You're live now. I'm
Yeah,
Sudhir Rathore here. And I've got our
Dr.
expert
Sudhir
panels
Rathore,
here. So if you would like to introduce your case, please.
Yeah, Dr. Sudhir, this is Dr. P.C. Rath from Apollo.
Hello,
Hospital.
hello, Dr. Rath. Good to
Yeah.
see you all.
Yeah, fine. See this, we have a beautiful case already on the table for you. Dr. Samin Sharma and my colleague Dr. Manoj Agarwal will be doing the case. Before we go to this case, I just take 5 minutes and tell you about the case. We did it yesterday. We are doing a TAVI yesterday. And then that case, we just couldn't show the last part. So what happened, I'll put in, that case was a 75-year-old man, critical aortic stenosis. Just go ahead. Move. And this patient, we took him for TAVI yesterday. You can see the CT angio, good vessel, not much of calcium, and we dilated with a 18 millimeter balloon, usually after crushing, and we took a evolute R. Go ahead, please. And we took the evolute R, and then we positioned it, and you can see it is going, and then we positioned it. Then we checked from the sinus injection, it's right in good position. Then we tried to open it. Now the thing is, that time it didn't open. This is something very unique. We checked everything. This is a evolute R has a safety mechanism. If the valve is not loaded properly, it will not open at all. And this is Dr. Peter Andriga was with us. And so we had to pull it out and reload the valve. This is a very, very rare instance where he was telling at his experience, only this is the second case what he had. Anyway, that was first case for us. So we pulled it out, it was reloaded again, and then we took it again, and then we positioned it, you can see it, and then we released. This time it released slowly, you can see it is below the it's right place, 5 millimeter below the sinus, we are opening. Remember this evolute R, and we went with a 14F seat, no cut down, 14F seat, and it's very easy to deliver the position. You should be careful, but this was a shock for us when it didn't open. Now it is opening, and very slowly we opened, and the last part it opened. And we took a shot after that, and we pulled out everything, took a shot. We took a gradient, absolutely no gradient. You can see, no paravalvular leak. The patient was on anesthesia. After shifting the patient, after 15 minutes, generally he was extubated, and he had a sheath. Already we put ProGlide, so he just closed it. So this went on smoothly, but that was the suck, and that was also a learning point that it can happen, so be careful. I think the patient is doing well. He is in ICU. He'll be shifted out. I move on to this case of Dr. Sharma, and this is a 75-year-old man who had a angioplasty stenting for RCA and OM1 in 99. He had a bypass in 2012 with 2 grafts, one Lima graft to LAD and SBG graft to OM1. And he is a hypertensive diabetic. This time he came with chest pain and rest pain. So we did the angiogram. He had, besides the corona, he had, first is he had a critical disease in the left main. His Lima was not flowing. SBG graft was normal, but he also had a bilateral renal artery stenosis. Last week, one after another, we stented it. Now this is the case now. Now over to Dr. Sharma. He will be telling you about the case and his plan. Dr. Sharma also has one more case at 4:30 that he will be doing. Dr. Saibalkar was supposed to come. He is not coming, so we have requested our good friend, Dr. Samin Sharma, to do that case also. That's over to Dr. Samin.
All right. So we can see with this case, this patient actually had a Lima and the vein graft which went to OM1 and LPL. So graft is good. You see the Lima atretic. You can see the backflow. There seems to be a distal anastomotic lesion. They've done the angiogram few days ago, and there's very little antegrade flow. So basically now we are left with, there is a left main going into the proximal circumflex, to the proximal LED, and the circumflex ostium seems to be fine, and circ anyway get two bypasses antegrade which are fine. So though clearly for in terms of the jeopardy and vessel in question is the left main going into the LED, and we need to preserve that diagonal. If we can go to the previous view, you can see the diagonal is okay. Looks fine. Does originate in that area of the disease, but truly the disease is before in the proximal part of the LED before the diagonal, and of course in the left main. And it's a moderate calcium. Now, in terms of the various imaging, I know a lot of work has been done with the OCT since morning. I witnessed a few of those cases this morning while IVUS was done. So here we decided to do OCT. Just to say IVUS versus OCT, I think idea is just to see the plaque composition as well as see the degree of calcium in this particular case. On angiogram, definitely you see a moderate plus calcium. Look at the wall of the left main, nicely origin, then you see the whole narrowing, and now we can comment on the left main and the total branches. They actually just got the software of the 3D OCT, and hopefully we'll do a reconstruction of the vessel and show it. All right, our OCT team shows what do you have?
So, Samin, Dr. Sharma, this is a protected left main stem which has got moderate to severe calcification and some disease at the first diagonal branch.
Right, that is correct.
So you will be deciding whether to use any adjunctive device after the OCT?
That is, well, I mean, that was part of it, and they did, OCT did say, confirm the finding. We had a choice, do the IVUS or OCT, but they wanted to show OCT today, because, you know, we always try to show the new toy. Interventionists are very much, love the toy, so that we felt this will be a good imaging technique just to show. So, so this is the part of the left main, and the circ ostium actually looks very good. So what else we are going to see here?
So your strategy, Samin, this is Rajiv here.
Yes, Rajiv.
To go ahead for from left main to LED.
To the LED, yes, that is true. So that will be our, the calcium is there. See, there's multiple spicules of calcium, calcified nodules. And basically how you demarcate calcified nodule versus the lipid, both are echolucens. One is demarcated border is the calcium, and non-demarcated is your lipid core on the OCT. Yeah, and the lumen of the left main is 3.87, so clearly makes it significant. So let's play the whole the OCT run, so everybody can see it. So you see that what happened is you have to bring the catheter to the ostium, and you inject about 10 cc's of dye, clear the field, and then it's the resolution of the OCT versus IVUS is 10 times better, and it takes few seconds to acquire. And then, of course, the whole work of the OCT is post-processing, then after you have acquired it. And this is now coming back to the proximal, the distal segment, and coming back to the proximal, and then now back into the catheter. So this is where we are. Anyway, let's put the fluoro on, the flush on. So based on that, we felt that again, we have shown already the OCT show us the new, another technique I would say, the rotablation in this particular case, because of the calcium justified. I always say the lesion, native lesion, where the graft was, and once the graft closed, those lesions are usually very inelastic. Even if they don't look that much calcified, they just don't open. So they're very inelastic, maybe moderate to severe calcified, but definitely inelastic, and this lesion will fall into that category. So we have wired here with the rota wire, rota floppy, and we are ready to put our 1.5 rota burr. An idea there is some plaque modification before stenting. Now, even 1.5 will be too small in my opinion, so we may use the adjunct cutting balloon or angiosculpt, whatever we have, and of course we'll ask the opinion of our panelists. Okay, let's come it a little quick, faster. We can advance. It's a two-man process still because of the over-the-wire system. These techniques have still not gone to the monorail, and there is still nothing being done both by the orbital atherectomy, which is the newer device, which is 1.25 only, which goes by various speed, can become your 1.75 with a higher speed, and second is the rotational atherectomy. All are over the wire system. 0.009 with the rota wire, and of course 0.012 with the orbital atherectomy. We'll be seeing a lot actually in the literature about the orbital atherectomy now.
Dr. Sharma, Sudhir here, Sudhir Rathore.
Yes, Sudhir.
Yes, so what speed will you be using? Are you a
Yeah.
believer in the high speed?
No,
or-
we are actually, we have switched many years ago to the slow speed. And slow speed by definition is 150 irrespective of your, the burr size. So 150 outside, and you will see it inside, it will be about 130, 140, and so. So 140, it may take some extra time in terms of ablation, but basically it does cause less slow flow and less CK release. So almost more than a decade, now we have switched to the slow speed approach. Now, rarely, when you have done the multiple ablation and it does not go through, then we crank up the speed, but that is needed maybe in about 5% of cases. So we do about 15% of our 350 PCIs we do, so about 60 rotational atherectomy or orbital, 75-80% rotational, and about 15-20% orbital, and couple percent now the laser. Laser atherectomy is coming back also. Part of that is also the reimbursement in the American system, which has led to more use of atherectomy, and truly, in my opinion, in these calcific lesions, really do good. So now we have brought the lesion, basically we check the speed beforehand, and we are right here, and basically what I try to do is three things. If you can see my hand, yes. Advance the knob, that once you are done, then you open the at Y connector and try to move your burr back and forth. So two, and third is that the Dynaglide. So key is that if burr still has to jump, will jump at a very slow speed, you just tap on the Dynaglide. And you see here, by doing those two, at the advancer knob and at the Y connector, burr will not jump. So burr is not jump. Now you are ready. You lose your advancer knob and slowly advance. Oh, yeah, it's a 150. So now you see that what happened is, yep. So we are going to pull back the burr into the guide little more. What happened? The proximal area now has become straightened, so the burr has gone to the distal segment of the left main and not coming back. So I'm going to pull back on the Dynaglide just few millimeters into the guide. You have to press the brake. Yeah, good, that's fine. So what we are going to do now, the guide out and go back again, because we need to do a good ablation, not the daughter only. Daughter effect, because you can always do the daughtering with these mechanical devices. So now we are going to start. Keep the speed, don't change the speed. Yeah, and at one point, about 15 to 20 seconds. And you have to tell us at 20 seconds. Good. So give about few seconds rest, and I think we have crossed it. We just do the polish, and then we'll come out.
Dr. Samim, you have got 8 more minutes before you switch over to other lab.
How many more minutes?
8.
Yeah.
But we will come back to you after that.
Good. Perfect.
We'll switch lab in 8 minutes.
Okay. Now we are done. Always keep about the pacemaker. You know, sometimes it will cause bradycardia even in the left main. And now you need a clip to the end, and we are going to come out. You have to attach to the end, yeah. And then with the brake, and we are going to remove. Ready? Good. Now, rest of the work, some people, actually not lot, very few people will do your balloon and stents on the rota wire. But remember, rota wire is very flimsy, 0.009. So invariably, we will always change the wire to our good. We can stop the flush now.
Dr. Sharma, will you try the balloon now, or will you
Yes.
upgrade the burr size?
No,
I will do the plaque modification.
No, but we will upgrade very rarely, we'll go to the second burr, but otherwise we'll go with the combination, and that is we establish as a rota cut. That here, in a large vessel, you can use now, we are going to take a picture now, that you can use the Flextome or Angiosculpt to get your plaque modification. Sorry. Ready? Okay. We need the wire or, yeah, we have. Good. So we actually deciding here, we have a 3O cutting balloon. Yeah. So 3O flagstone. We are going to use that, but I'm going to put a rota wire. I'll leave it there, but we go with our BMW wire which we had earlier.
Yeah, so in case if you have to come back with the burr, you can come back.
Yeah, you can always upgrade because we have 7 French. You can go up to a 2O bar with a 7. Okay. Yeah, guide actually, even 3O guide was too big. Let's get a little die.
Yeah, that's another interesting point for left main stem. If the ostium is involved, not to use an extra backup guide catheter, use JL3 or 3.5 so that you've got enough room for.
Okay, we can give us our cutting balloon.
So, I mean, your preference nowadays is the rota and then cutting balloon. And
Yeah,
if don't
I mean, in a
succeed,
in a
then
3.54 vessel. Otherwise, in others, just do a 1.5 or 1.75 burr, followed by high pressure dilatation, then stenting, and if necessary, post dilate. But not in every case you need to do a cutting balloon, but in this kind of case with a big vessel, where we have used less than 0.5 to burr to artery ratio, will be a reasonable. Okay, let's go. We go up. Yep. So this time you can still leave the rota wire, not a problem. 8, 10. Yeah, cutting
Rota-
balloon not more than that.
rota valve will also work like a cutting balloon next to
The super cutting balloon now. Go up. Yep. Okay, yeah, down. Now what happened to
What
the
are the
blood pressure?
pressures you used, Dr. Samim?
Oh, yeah, this is up to 10 atmosphere. Now, also, I will bring it back and then go back again. Hopefully, it will change the blade shape. Go up again. Or directions of the blade. Yeah. 12. Good. Negative.
Do you have to physically rotate the balloon?
Yep.
Change
Just
the
a
angle.
little further. Idea is that hopefully, by second burgo, the cutting balloon maybe will go into a different direction for cuts. Okay, we are ready to take a picture now.
Dr.
All right.
Sharma, are you planning to do intravascular ultrasound as well? Because OCT gives you a good understanding of the plaque characteristic, but doesn't give very much idea about the vessel size in terms
Absolutely.
of stenting.
Our goal is, that's what we decided that we are going to put a stent,
And then do the IVUS.
post dilate, and then do the IVUS, so that will minus. So basically, this is after we did a rota. You can see nicely smooth, no
Can we
dissection.
see the angiogram, please?
Can you show the angiogram there, please? Good. Okay. Next. So then this is a 3.5 22 millimeter resolute integrity. 3.5 22. You can see covering the lesion correctly. We dilated at 14 atmosphere. Looks good. Then optimization of the proximal part with the 4O12 high pressure. And that's where we are now. Next. Yes. No, minus. Let's see this one. Yeah. Here looks very good. The branches of the circumflex, branch of the diagonal, looks like maybe diagonal has a slightly slower flow, but the left main proximal LED looks good. But then we go to the caudal view. Show the next view. Now see the diagonal has a definitely pinch, which was completely normal vessel to begin with.
So are you
Now-
planning to recross?
Well, I would say
Optimization,
I wanted to just get the opinion of the panel, because I personally believe, because this was a normal diagonal to begin with, it was a protected left main situation for the LED, and I think we should definitely optimize this ostial diagonal. Whether we require stent is a different story, but definitely with the balloon dilatation, majority of them do fine.
I think I agree. I think the kissing balloon for the diagonal and proximal LED will be option here. Any
Yes.
comments from the panelists?
Samin, by doing a balloon dilatation and leaving without a stent, will you not be exposing it for the higher restenosis?
Well, the question is a very good point. So idea is that this is the case where there was no lesion to begin with. Remember, if you
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to the beginning one, maybe we should play that picture again. There was no disease. This is just a plaque shift. And I know that lot of data that if you do FFR, maybe even if lesion looking so bad, it will FFR maybe more than 0.8. So I think this is a little different process. And secondly, that when we are going to do a kissing balloon, the stent, part of the stent will protrude into the ostium. So hopefully that ostial has a little bit of coverage of the drug, the drug everolimus. Actually, in this particular case,
The only thing is this is still TIMI 3 flow in diagonal. So
well, I mean, I don't know whether it's TIMI 3. It's getting definitely down. It's a TIMI 3 minus with a very significant lesion. And we can take a picture here better. Let me just say 1 second. I need a Torker on this. And we'll take a picture here. Yeah, we learned that over the years, our threshold of going back to these branches have really increased. But this particular case, let me just show. We'll take a picture now. You see, this is now.
So what wire are you using, Dr. Sharma?
What wire you give us this? This is a Sion blue. Now, other one, ideal wire here will be the fielder.
Fielder, FC or
Yeah.
fielder, yeah.
Yeah, you need a hydrophilic wire to go through the stent struts, and so therefore we are looking for the fielder wire. But otherwise, this is the. So we'll take the fielder.
Fielder
wire,
is because of the tip is narrow or because of the
it's
coating?
just the hydrophilic nature and
Hydrophilic
going
nature.
back, going better with this stent struts. Because my personal experience with both BMW, Cyan Blue, or even our workhorse wire, which is a run through, that they just going to the side branches are always a troublesome for them. See that we are at the ostium. We got the fielder wire? Okay. We are going to use the fielder.
Yeah, so I think the Dr. Sharma's view about, because the ostial diagonal doesn't extend more than 0.5 to 1 millimeters ostium, so I think the kissing balloon might just be enough because it will protrude one stent strut and maybe some drug. If it extends more than 1 millimeter, or if there's a dissection, or if there's reduced flow, then we have to end up with a second stent for the diagonal.
Dr. Sharma, just show the curve that you're making on the wire, please.
Yeah. Because we need to make a little more generous curve.
Just please
you
focus on
can
that, please. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. So a little bigger one, not our CTO curve, which is a very small. And I know that we got only few minutes, but that's okay. Because once we come back at 4:30, we'll show you the end of this. So just like at end of yesterday's TAVI case we showed today.
Yeah,
So
you've done really well. We have completed most of the left main stenting is completed.
Yes.
It's a diagonal bifurcation, which is like a.
Now you got a fielder wire?
Yeah, now this is the fielder wire, yeah.
Little forward you have to go.
And we actually have optimized the proximal segment with the 4O balloon already. We can magnify this view a little bit.
All the bombastic.
Yeah, good.
Good.
Okay. All right. So now I would always say that many people will try to go with the compliant. No, that non-compliant balloon, but go with the compliant balloon first. Because many times we'll have a trouble. So we have a 2.5? Yeah, good. 2.5, 10 will be fine. And then we can do a kissing balloon. Huh? We'll use the 3.5. Non-compliant.
Non-compliant because of the better profile?
Yeah, no, just for the kissing. This one, I'm going with a compliant. No, absolutely. This is going with a compliant because the vessel has now become a little angulated. It was a straight vessel to begin with. You're holding the wire. Good. Pull the wire a little bit. So this is always, you have to be careful with these hydrophilic wires that they will a tendency to migrate. Yeah. Okay, I have the wire now.
Okay, so we've just been informed that you've got 4 more minutes.
Good, good. I think that will be
I think
good.
that is enough for you.
The problem with these fielders are that they're
Distal,
so really
yes.
opaque. Okay, let's go up. 10, 12. Okay. So we need now
So you
the
dilated that first diagonal with a compliant balloon first.
right, compliant, yeah. And even it will
Looks
be
good.
okay. We just don't need to be very aggressive.
Aggressive, yeah.
Yeah. So if dissection remains, if we had to go back and put a stent in the with a tap technique or whichever reverse crush at this time, then only I will go to the higher 16, 18 atmosphere for the to open the ostium of the LED stent stud.
Dr. Sharma, there is a question from the audience. Doctor,
Yeah.
identify yourself.
Dr. Anand Rao from Mumbai. Dr. Sharma, is this the regular filter wire or appears to be a filter XT wire to me because the dark transition is quite long? I think it's a filter XT wire if I'm not wrong.
The question
Okay,
is
Yeah.
that whether it is a regular filter wire or filter XT wire, one from Dr. Verma, one of the audience.
You guys gave us fielder XT? Huh?
Looks like fielder X.
Fielder FC, yeah.
This is filter XT.
Yeah, I mean, I would have gone with a regular fielder because I knew the tip was definitely much floppier with the smaller.
I think sometimes maybe fielder XT will not do any harm. It's better to cross the stand strut if you're struggling with fielder
That is
FC.
true
It
also.
doesn't-
Yep,
Obviously,
absolutely.
equally,
Okay.
you have to
Let's go
just
both. Yeah.
control the distal tip.
Yep, 6, 8. Go to the side branch, yeah. 10, 12. You keep it 10, 12, yeah. Diagonal, go 12, 14, 16. Somehow it is not opening. Good. Yeah, good.
2 balloons.
Okay, both negative. Yeah, I think the LED, I still want to open a little more at this level. Yeah, go up here. Leave that balloon there, go 16. Yeah. Go up. 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, negative. That's fine. That's okay. Will be okay, right? Okay. Anyway, we are going to bring back both, take a picture, and then decide what to do.
No dissection.
Yep,
I think
no
looks quite good.
dissection. We'll take the last
Nicely
picture
opened.
now.
The wires are out.
Okay, ready for the last picture?
Yes.
Wonderful. Go ahead.
Looks great.
Beautiful.
Great deal, Dr. Shamim Sharma.
All
Great
right.
result.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Congratulations
everyone.
to the
Thank
team.
you.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank
Good
you.
for the review.
Thank you very much.